Welcome to the After the Show podcast, where we hang out a little bit longer and just discuss things, as Sam likes to say, loosen our belts.
Put our feet up.
And you can subscribe to our YouTube channel and watch these also, along with some other fun videos from the show. Anytime.
This morning you were talking about Game of Thrones auction, for Thronies who I guess would want to and can afford, to buy some of these items that come from the set and the show.
These are studio sanctioned. These are the real things.
And it made me think about a little game of pretend that would be kind of fun to play for any show that you were a fan of or movie. If you had enough money to buy, one of those items, what would you actually buy?
Any show or Game of Thrones? Because Game of Thrones is my show.
No, I don't want to. I don't watch Game of Thrones, and as you know, unfortunately, I don't really care about Game of Thrones.
For me, I do.
But I know that. But for people, no disrespect for people that do. No, I'm saying in general, anything.
Okay.
And so the first thing that comes to mind to me would probably be any prop from the TV show Friends, maybe from Central Perk, or from Monica's apartment, something like that. I mean, because that show was, so much.
Yeah.
So much fun.
I don't think...
the buzzer from Family Feud.
Oh.
the big red button. I've always wanted the big red button from Family Feud.
Is that why you like buzzers so much? Murphy loves a buzzer.
I do.
You can put that on the front of the house as your new doorbell.
Ding.
That would, and it could go just like Family Feud.
Yeah.
I have to say, the reason I did the story in the Hollywood Outsider, the bonus one about the Game of Thrones auction, because it was just cool to say, look, these are actual HBO decided. And I'll answer your question. But HBO decided, okay, we know what spinoffs we're doing. We know we don't need these things ever again, so we're going to auction them off. And by the way, the auction is taking place in October. Heritage Auctions in Dallas. There's preliminary bidding taking place now. We're talking big money for things like the Hand of the Queen pin that Peter Dinklage wore, that Daenerys put on him.
Oh, the hand, yeah.
The Hand of the Queen. And then here's a good big one. Jaime Lannister's full suit of armor and sword. Man, that was a good-looking suit of armor.
Does it come with his hand?
Probably. I don't see that here. But that is a gorgeous-looking. I remember thinking, he looks like a cartoon knight that I've seen before when he was there, So fun. So I am not a collector type, Murphy. You know that. I would rather the experience than the T-shirt. Or I've always been, I don't collect things. I don't get autographs from people when I meet them. I do get selfies.
Yeah.
I have a couple selfies with Keith Urban. Ooh, happy about those. But I'm not a collector type. However, if we had money for it, because I would never spend money on something like this. I would want one of the necklaces that Sansa wore. Okay? I don't know what you even call it. And the year I dressed up like her for Halloween, I made one up, remember? It's a circular thing that I put duct tape around. And I put a long chain. It was like a lariat chain. Do you guys know what that means? Oh, you do know what it means.
Like a bolo tie, right?
Right, it's a long.
Yeah.
So it's a chain that comes down and then there's one long piece. And so it was like a lariat chain with some round thing on it. And she wore it when she was finally getting her baddiness. When she finally got an attitude and started to stick up for herself, this is the thing a woman notices. Not only did her language and demeanor change, she started dressing cool. And it was all part of her sort of reinventing herself. And I just thought, I honed in on that necklace.
Wow. And
I would want that. I've already scanned the auction. That's not available. I don't know where it is.
Well, isn't the minimum bid too on the cheapest thing $500 right now?
Something like that.
Yeah.
So what other shows, what other things would you want if there were other items?
I can't think of anything else.
There's nothing that jumps out?
It doesn't surprise you that Game of Thrones is my item?
Oh, no, it doesn't. No,
That's what I'd want.
But yeah, and you can buy a lot of things. Replicas will come out. Like you loved Mad Men, and you loved that pin that Joan had.
Oh, the pin necklace. See, it's a jewelry thing for me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
What about Three's Company?
Oh, I don't know I'd want anything. I want Jack Tripper back in my life. What about you, Sam? You used to collect things, did you not?
Some, yeah.
Autographs?
Autographs, yeah. For a prop, though, or something from a TV show or movie, I'd want Star Wars.
Of course.
Yeah,
I want a real Okay, I know there's no real lightsabers.
But you want the ones in the movie. That
Yeah, I
were
want the real
real
ones that were created for the movie.
Yeah, I
and
can
it's
see
not,
that.
and that's probably like a pipe dream because those are probably the most coveted things.
Totally.
But there's tons of little things. I'm not looking for like, I want the real Death Star. I would love some little thing that you could put on the shelf and like, yeah, that's the actual.
Yeah.
See, put on the shelf doesn't work for me. If I got a necklace from Sansa Stark and Game of Thrones, I would wear it.
But that's
I would
different.
big fat wear it.
That's practical though.
Yeah,
You know, I mean, a lightsaber.
it's not practical.
Hey, look what I
Yeah,
got.
if you're walking around with a lightsaber
Yeah.
and it's not Halloween, someone's
Yeah.
probably going to ask a question.
No wonder he doesn't have a date.
There was an auction again recently for some of Elvis Presley's items, and one of them was, well, some of them were some of his rings. And I'm thinking, I'm sure they were gaudy. And these are rings that the kids and the family didn't want. I mean, this is obviously if Riley Keough is letting go of all this
Yeah.
stuff.
But it's still, it's still going to catch a fortune, though.
Yes,
isn't
it is,
Yeah,
but-
it's because even though the kids don't care about it,
But
it was
see-
Elvis's.
Yeah, and if I was into all that stuff, and I had, and let's just say we were rich, Murphy, and I on a whim wanted one of the king's rings, and you auctioned and got it for me, I would wear it. I'm not a put it on a shelf person. I would wear it.
No matter how gaudy it is.
Well,
It's got a big TCB on it.
That's not.
hey, that sounds cool.
That's not the part I would worry about. I would worry about we're out at dinner, you take it off to wash your hands in a restaurant in a bathroom,
Aw.
and then walk away.
No, okay.
And then somebody finds the
See,
TCB
well, don't
ring.
worry. This little pipe dream's not happening anyway.
Yeah. What if?
But that makes sense. I guess the money part really does change a lot of it if you become, a
course it does.
collector. But
I know.
Collecting things, it's just like, make sure, be careful because you are not taking that with you.
Goodfellas.
Oh, now you're playing dirty.
what would you want from Goodfellas?
Oh,
I don't know. I'm just saying
man.
that's y'all's movie. What would,
Something that was Henry and Karen's in their house. I don't know. I love that funky wall they had with the stack stone and all that, but I can't think of little items.
yeah.
Maybe one of Maury's wigs.
Oh, yeah.
It would only, I guess, be things that jump out to me is just they're iconic to me personally. The only other thing that I actually know that I would, like, and it actually was auctioned off, and there is someone that actually owns it, is the original microphone from The Tonight Show that Johnny Carson used for 30 years.
That's
The entire time that he was there.
That's your bag.
It was actually an engineer who worked there who saved it. Nobody was interested in grabbing that. And he saved it, and then it wound up being auctioned off, and somebody paid whatever it was, a couple $100,000 for it.
Well, you're into microphones, though. That's a really cool sort of interest and hobby of yours. So, of course, you'd want that.
Yeah.
What's funny about it, too, is the amount of stuff that gets thrown away that people would go gaga for.
Right.
Like that. You said that he just kept it. But I remember when the Letterman's show ended, they were throwing away the whole thing, the marquee and stuff from out front.
No.
They were throwing away all kinds of stuff. And
It's a business
I
to
mentioned
them.
Star Wars and the lightsaber. I knew that wouldn't get thrown away. But a lot of the miniatures that they built for the flying action on the Death Star, that's really just miniatures. It's not real.
Yeah.
That was dumpstered, after. It's like, what else are we going to use this for?
Maybe they did they not realize, though? Back then, it's like, okay, next project. That's a business. It's about them making a product, putting it out, and they had to make room. And so they didn't realize the iconic thing they were sitting on.
Yeah.
They
Just,
did not
we got to
know.
move this out to make room for something else.
Yeah.
I realize my pattern now that we're talking about this, though, Murphy, is that it's jewelry for me. It's something that I can,
That's what jumps out to you
It's
on
what
any
I
show.
notice.
It's what you would notice most.
Years ago, and we can, wrap this up. You just reminded me years ago when we were watching Breaking Bad. The main characters, one of the main characters, her name is Skylar in the show. You remember Skylar, the wife? In one of the scenes, she had this really gorgeous bracelet on. And I was like, man, look at that bracelet. And he's like, hush, I'm trying to listen. And I'm like, but look at that bracelet. And then months go by and Mother's Day comes around and Murphy bought me a bracelet just like it. He Googled and looked it up and found it. And I like it. I love it. I still see some of them around.
Yeah, I think the story on that, because so much of that show was shot in Albuquerque, or I guess that area. And I'm pretty sure it is
there?
a local person who made that and had the shop. And, is they were sourcing for whatever they call that, scouting, I guess, for props and everything for the show. They were doing a lot of that locally. Yeah. And so they found...
Every once in a great while, I'll see one a lot like it. I mean, I still have mine. It's a little worn. Like, it has a couple little kinks in it. I bet you didn't know that. And the snap is not as slick as it used to be. I have to work hard to snap it when I do wear it. But I've taken really good care of it. I clean it every once in a while. It's a really nice, well-made piece of jewelry. But so, yeah, that's...
Do you tell people that it's from the show?
No.
Because the original one that you wore?
No. Would you tell people that your lightsaber was the original?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be telling people I have a lightsaber.
Missed any part of the show? Get it all on the Murphy, Sam, and Jodi podcast.